And then there's the guy that orchestrated this, and I see he's been really excited about that ring. Fernando, you and I have talked so much over the years before seasons in terms of anticipation of what you wanted to do and accomplish and how you thought your team looked, and even after seasons like we did when you guys won the championship. Has it been any different now? It's been a while now since that victory, 10 months to the date, but is it still just as vibrant in your mind?
Absolutely. Today we're, looking through some of the videos that our sports information put together, and, you get real emotional, I was at Lafayette College as an assistant. We won a championship there the first year. So I reached out to Tim Linehan, who's at Northwestern now, and I said, hey, does it ever go away? Like, I watch videos sometimes, and I get all teary-eyed and emotional, and he's like, it ain't ever going to go away, Fernando. So, it's really very vivid, in my mind at all times.
You think about, that's why people compete, right? That's why we compete, is to get those moments, to have those moments, and some people don't ever share in that moment. You've got a group of guys that has a chance to get back and do it again. I know this has been tough, but what have you taken now from this fall that normally you'd be playing? What have you taken from this program in the direction they're going, and when we do hopefully get started in the spring with the season in the America East?
Yeah, listen, I think number one is don't take life for granted, right? Especially not the game, especially not getting back on the field after being out for so many months. So, we step on the field every day, feeling very fortunate, happy that we're out here training again, and taking little steps, as we move, since we have so much time before we really start up for the spring season. So, just enjoying being on the field.
What did you think of that ring? I see you've got the gold edition. That box wide open. You don't want to close. I feel like you don't want to close that box. You want that thing wide open,
no, I don't.
Just to keep on looking at it. But talk about the design and the meanings behind what was created for that ring.
I think the red was is what NJIT is, right? Is our main thing, and we wanted the red on there. Me and my coaching staff really did a great job of trying to capture everything that we could. And place it on this symbolic ring, and one of the things I request is I want regular season championship and playoff championship on there, because both are just as equally important in my mind, and especially the regular season championship. I think sometimes that's overlooked, but it's really the body of work of our coaching staff and of the players and staff. So it came out great, and it's just going to be always a constant symbol of what 2019, the best thing of 2019.
Sure thing. You think about how 2020 has been such a strange year, but that gives you that much longer of a time to just relish in what was accomplished. It's funny, you were talking at the podium, and you did mention to believe in great. I talked with Rennie White, and he said, right after we had started, and he said, I believe it was when we were 2-3-3, which was right before you guys went on a huge run. He said we got these bracelets. He was still wearing it.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit where that was from, but what was the inspiration? Tell us the inspiration and maybe the effect of what that means for these young student athletes, not only on the pitch but off the pitch. Believe in great.
Yeah. So the bracelet. It's funny. I did the bracelet many years ago with another college team, 2009, and we actually won the championship that year. It's crazy how things work out. So over the summer, I'm like, Matt, let's do this bracelet, And there was a tournament going on, Copa America, in South America, and I was watching it. Obviously, I'm a soccer coach, studying the game, and a fan. And I saw on the sleeve of the Uruguayan team, and it said "Creer en Grande," and I'm like, wow, that's really catchy, And so I tried to translate it from Spanish to English, and that's how "Believe in Great" came out. We put it on the bracelets. We talked about it in preseason, and I said, if we don't believe in ourselves, then no one else is, So I think that was something that really resonated every day, because we talked about it at the end of every training session. We would see "Believe in Great" and look at each other. So, and it wasn't easy, right? Because as you pointed out, we were 2-3-3. It was not like we were undefeated, but we evolved, and then and we became a united group with that goal of being great. So. it's good.
You know, it's funny when you believe in great, there's really no stopping point, right? And it's funny because I listen to you talk, and I think about sports fans who think, well, when a team or a coach wins, they must become a little complacent. But I listen to your players, I listen to you. As much as you guys enjoyed it, I feel like it's fueled even a deeper fire to get back out there and do it again and experience and relive that feeling like you had last year again. Truth to that statement?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a moment when, you know, when you've won, right? When that whistle blew, I think everybody kind of looked around, all the players, even in all the celebration, like, this is such a great feeling. And I think, you know, when you have such a feeling, I think you want to get back there, right? You want to feel that again at its height. And definitely that's a fuel for us, for everyone, right? And that's not just the players, and not just the coaching staff. I think the whole school wants to see it and feel it. Because I'm telling you, those playoff games, like, the vibe on this campus was like, it was just so high. It was beautiful. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, even watching those highlights earlier, you know, kind of reliving, you know, the goal to tie it and the goal to win it, and like the goosebumps and the craziness and the fervor, you know, like everyone pouring onto the pitch after the final whistle sounded. It was great. But like, you know, for you and I had talked about it. It was so great because as much success as you've had as a head coach in your past, you got to go to the NCAA tournament. You got to take these kids to an NCAA tournament. So it's great because there's still some business to get going. And I would imagine that when you sit here and you guys are together, you're thinking to yourselves, okay, we continue to grow this program. We've got the new facility, you know, we've got the ring, we've got a new local conference. Let's keep soaring.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think, you know, when I first got here 4 years ago, you know, that first class, that senior class, you know, they did great for us. But we said, you guys are going to help us build the foundation of this program as we go along. And every class, you know, adds to it. And certainly, you know, my first recruiting class, to leave as seniors and leave champions, you know, it's just going to be a torch that's going to be handed down. And there's going to be expectation. You know, we call it weight of the jersey, right? That jersey that every guy from now on puts on is that much heavier because of what was accomplished here.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
And as you're talking to it, made me think I didn't ask any of the players, and I should have. But you know, you and I have talked about it. This was a group of at least the senior class that didn't get to play on this lovely facility.
Yeah.
You talk about earning and putting in your time. You know, blood, sweat, and tears, commuting to Kane to play on a field that's not quite this caliber, and having to go off campus to do so. I mean, they earned it. I mean, you've got to be so proud, especially at that class, and you'll have more chances with the younger players to do these things again and experience things together. But for that particular class, I mean, explain the feeling of being able to have gotten them through the war and then to the spoils as was.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in preseason, and we're like, and I emphasized to the newcomers, I'm like, you guys have no idea what this senior class has gone through to be here today. How fortunate, how much, you know, the turmoil they've gone through in adversity, whether playing at Kane or training off campus at Bear Stadium in the baseball outfield, just because we didn't have a place while this beautiful, you know, place was being built. Yeah, it was, you know, I ran out to the field the first preseason training session. And I was just jumping for joy. The guys were looking at me like, "What's wrong with him?" But the senior guys knew, they understood, you know, and they kind of made a joke about it. So every time that I was introduced at a home game, you know, the guys on the bench would be, "No fans, no fans, no fans," because the first thing I ran out to the field, the first training session in preseason, I screamed out, "No more vans!" Like, no more taking vans to off-campus training. So it was, it was really something, you know.
It's great. I mean, it's fine. I know I got to let you go. We sit here, we could talk, we could do this all day. I mean, your story with the police officer, with your daughter's text, everything, it all comes together, and it shows why we do what we do, right? This is why you do what you do, and this is why, if I'm not as privileged as to be able to coach of the knowledge, even to be a part of talking about it, this is what we do. This is what we want to see, and these kids get this enrichment into the lives, experiences that some kids will never get. And a lot of it, of course, was under your hands. So I want to congratulate you and thank you for what you were able to provide those guys. But I know we're going to do it again, and we're going to have the opportunity sooner than later. And I can't wait to get started with the chance to maybe not defend one crown, but to win another in another conference. So look out, America East.
I appreciate it. Thank you.